now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Myles Mayhem. Yeah, by now we all know what happened towards the tail end of Thursday night's contest between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 21-7 was the final score. But again, after the fact, total mayhem, total chaos, a complete fiasco. Colin Kaepernick gets his shot. Question mark. Did he or didn't he? And then I'm going to slide on down south. Now I'll have my boy, one of my favorite former NBA players, Penny Hardaway, in the Memphis Blues is what I'm calling, because he, understandably, arguably, or from what I reportedly, let me say it that way, is getting ready to make a move to challenge the NCAA's ineligibility of Mr. Wiseman, his star recruit. Interesting. And, of course, NFL Week 11 notable team performances. But up first, got a little bit of shop trivia for you all today. I've been mulling this thing over, and I was in the shop, the actual barbershop, the other day, and I asked the guys this question. So joining me on the program today to discuss this and all our other topics is my man, my man from the NYC, none other than, how do I say that here? See what I'm saying? This whole Myles Garrett thing got me all messed up. My cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on, man?
Always an honor, a pleasure, always humble to be before the microphone and in front of the audience, and certainly in front of the number one Dallas Cowboys fan in America, yourself. Always honored to be in your program, sir.
Well, I never saw before until I met you that a booster from Ohio State with a bow tie could look so terrible. And on the other side of the ledger, my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say. If you say anything about the Dallas Cowboys, because Brother Richard, he like to keep at it, okay? He about to get the mute button today, for real. I got a brand new mute button. It's a big one, too, like the Staples button you used to see on a commercial. You will get the button today. Play with me if you want to. Tell them what you say, Double J.
There was a thrashing that took place here in Detroit by a team from the South, and they're supposedly Super Bowl contenders, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. All right, gentlemen. D. Gully should be joining us shortly, I believe. But until then, hey, let's get started. Now, this shop trivia, and I'm thinking about adding this as a staple. You know, I got so many other things on the producer's plate here, so to speak. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit it in and whatnot. But we'll talk about that somewhere down the line. But for today, we've got a little bit of shop trivia. I was in the barbershop this past Saturday. And we were watching, it was a couple football games on, and I don't remember who was actually playing. But I'm sitting there watching, and a couple of the guys, were talking about the game. And a thought occurred to me. Where it came from, I have no idea. But it did. It came to me. And I asked the guy, Chuck. He cuts in the chair next to Dre, Brother Rich. He was sitting in the
oh yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, so he didn't have a client, and he was sitting over in the other chairs where the clients be sitting at. And I kind of asked everybody, but I was kind of directed it to him, but I was asking everybody. And I said, man, has there ever been a NFL player who was either who won both the Rookie of the Year and the NFL MVP in the same year? Without using Google, who, if at all possible, were the player or players, Brother Rich, do you think?
I have no idea. I'm not even going to pretend that I know the answer.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, it's all to the good, because I didn't even know. Double J, you want to take a stab at it? I said no Google.
From the NBA standpoint, it may happen. Well, no. I was going to say the only person I think Ichiro was the only person that I was familiar with, but not you. I think you were mentioning the NFL.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yes.
So to answer your question, no.
I said the NFL. Yes, indeed. Well, guess who it is, man? There's two players. You all want to take a gander? No.
I'd have to
Enlighten
be
us.
some quarterback. It would have to be some quarterback, I guess.
No.
I don't know who that
Nope.
would be, but not a quarterback. Wow.
Nope.
Wow. Okay. Well, enlighten
Jim
us,
Brown
man,
in
'cause I certainly would like to know.
1957. Jim Brown. And in 1978,
Okay.
Earl Campbell. The only two.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the only two players in NFL history to ever have done that. See, we all keep, all this conversation keep going on and on about GOAT and all that kind of stuff. Now that's a GOAT. Okay, you win the Rookie of the Year and the NFL MVP in the same season. Who else had done that? And I'm glad you mentioned Ichiro Double J, because when I got home that day, because Chuck actually, when he said, man, while I was sitting in the chair getting cut, he looked it up and he said, man, you know who did it? And I said, who? He said, man, Jim Brown. I said, what? And he said, Earl Campbell. I said, man, get out of here. So I looked it up on. I was like, yep. Now, in looking that up, Double J, there were some others to come up in other sports. It's rarefied company, to be honest with you. Regardless of the sport, it's a rare feat. But we won't mention those other sports today because we're going to save some for later, right? Good deal. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, the area code is 267-687-0026. All right, let's move on to some of this Cleveland Browns Steelers action that took place Thursday night. And in particular, as far as the game itself goes, I'm glad the Browns won, of course. But, it was overshadowed. The win was overshadowed by, what took place with 8 seconds left after the fact. And I'm not going to lie. I saw it when it happened. And then, in the aftermath and the backlash and from the national pundits all the way down to the little guys and whatnot, I didn't want to see it again. Because to see it again, you have to hear the people who are showing it. You have to hear them talking about it. And the talk surrounding it, for the most part, is disgusting. Yeah. Indignant. Yeah. Ignorant. Yeah. And I don't want to hear it. I saw it. I don't need to hear it. Now, we all are entitled to our own opinions, right? That's what makes us who we are. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us individuals. But there are some things that no matter who we are and how much we differ in our opinions, that we all have to see as the same. We all know, Double J, you might have a different opinion on something when it comes to sports, brother Rich. But we all know when we go outside on a sunny day, we all know it's the sun in the sky, right? Okay. We all know that at night when the sun go down, it's a moon, right? Okay. Now, that may be not a good enough analogy or a bad analogy to the sun, but you all get my drift. You get what I'm saying? There's some things that no matter how many of us are walking on this earth, that no matter what we do, what we differ on, ain't no different when it comes to seeing and saying something about that and this. You feel what I'm trying to tell you? We all know everybody got a what? A left arm and a right arm, okay? So there's some things that regardless of your opinion, okay? Huh? It is what it is. Now, let me say this. Man, this whole Myles thing, man, I hate what he did. And I hate what he did for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm not a callous person by nature. And I don't want to see anybody get hurt intentionally. But more so than that, because I knew what the narrative was going to be after he did what he did. Because the court of public opinion, perception is the reality. But I'm saying to the court of public opinion, if you're going to be a court, then do it like the actual court. When it comes to evidence, the court of law, they don't just go off Exhibit A and convict nobody that day. They go off all of the evidence. They weigh it all before the judge makes a decision. Am I right, Brother Rich? Oh, okay.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. Am I right, Double J? Oh, okay. But guess what? After Myles did what he did, every social media outlet that I was in or on or whatever the case may be, all I heard over and over again were things that were extreme or beyond the extreme in regards to the rule that's already in place for what he did per the NFL. Double J, would you please for us at this moment, would you read off what the rule is in regards to what Myles Garrett did, please?
Well, certainly. So just to cover this in its entirety, Rule 12 in the rule book covers player conduct, and all the way down to Article 17, which, again, it represents the use of helmet as a weapon. And in quotes here, a player may not use his helmet that is no longer worn by anyone as a weapon to strike, swing at, or throw at an opponent, it reads. And as far as the penalty, for illegal use of the helmet as a weapon is a loss of 15 yards in an automatic disqualification. If the foul is committed by the defense, it also results in an automatic first down. But again, that is the extent of it. Wow.
So, that being said, and we got Gully on the line. Gully, appreciate you for joining from the CO Lumbers. What's up, man?
Hey, man, how you guys doing?
All right.
It's a part of the show again.
It's all good. I just want to remind you, as I did for Brother Rich and Double J, we got a few extra topics on the menu today. So, please, in your response, be detailed but brief, if you would. Please be mindful to do that. But going back to that, Double J, I appreciate you for reading that. So now, what I'm trying to understand is, even though if you didn't know the rule, right, Google is free, right? You can look it up. See, that's what I would have done. When I saw that and started hearing all the talk, that's what I would have done. I was trying to find it, but, I'm not as thorough when it comes to research as Double J is. That's why he's a part of the program. But I said, let me find some information because I heard Stephen A. and Damian Woody and Booger McFarland. That's a name for you, Booger. But anyway, those are the three that stood out to me as far as driving the narrative. They took the Myles perspective. And they made it the only perspective. But let me remind you all, and I'll let you all weigh in here before I keep going, because I know I get a little long in the tooth. But let me remind you all of something. At least I try to remind myself as well. For all those in the media, for all those who have a microphone under their chin, they have to understand that there are people out there who are influenced by what you say. I put a lot of effort and a lot of time, do you understand, into coming up with information that even though we're giving our opinion, you can go look it up and you can check it for yourself, because people quick to say facts. I get it. But really what it is this information. So you could have a set of information and say that's fact. Yeah, it may be. But I come with more information than that trumps your fact, because now I'll come with more factual information. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, as my cat Martin would say, it's just more information. So at the end of the day, man, the narrative that they driving, he needs to be banned. He needs to have charges brought against him. I'm like, what? So again, Double J read the rules. The NFL already got a rule in place for this. So that's excessive. And how you coming out your mouth with that? And let's be real, fellas. It's no way in the world that if Mason Rudolph did to you as a man what he did to Myles Garrett, it's no way in the world, whether you're on the football field, in a bar, at your grandmama's house, at a bar mitzvah, when it go down, it's going down. Ain't nobody gonna stop to think, wait, hold on. Let's not break the chairs in here. Okay, yeah, let's all gain our composure. Bump that. Now, you might be considerate of your surroundings before something jump off, but when something jump off, why you think back in the old Western days, when they used to shoot up the saloon and do all that, okay, the guy said, hey, man, I'll pay for the damages. Yeah, because it's going down. But the narrative and the perspective was all a Myles perspective. And as men, in particular, black men, tried to paint the picture and perpetuate and push the narrative that Myles Garrett is somehow, because of what he did. We're not condoning it. What we're saying is, why are you making this out to be like this is this man's character? Like he's some angry black man. Because I can't tell you how many times I done heard that. Well, guess what? For all of you all who get all your information from social media and ESPN, I did not hear one person mention the fact that not even 2 months ago, maybe a little less than that, Myles Garrett was involved in an incident in an affluent suburb here in Cleveland called Strongsville, Ohio. Look it up. Where, let's be real again, where you don't see a lot of African Americans. Guy gets out the car and punches Myles in the face. You know why you didn't hear it? What's already understood need not be explained. Now, we all know Myles Garrett is 6-something, whatever the case may be, and 300-something, whatever pounds. The guy that punched him, man, Myles could have folded him up like a piece of lawn furniture, but he didn't. He called the police, man. So where the Stephen A's and the Damian Woodies and all of that, that's what I mean by factoring in all the evidence. Weigh that in there too. What happens in that situation, unfortunate as it was the kind of situation that I tell folks who got anything to say contrary to, you ain't never been in no street fight. When you get in a street fight, ain't nobody thinking clearly. When you're on a football field playing a violent game anyway, I'm surprised anybody got their faculties at all just from smashing into each other. Who does that for a living, regardless of how much money you make? Who would sign up for that? And now all of a sudden it's predicated on violence. Now all of a sudden we want to be, we want to be shocked at the level of. It is what it is. Brother Rich, have your say.
Well, I don't know if I could add much to that. I think you articulated it perfectly. There's the issue, there's a double standard. Circumstances bring out the best or the worst in all of us. All of us have reacted at some point in time, either good or bad, and we can look back and say, I should not have done that. And what we ought to be mindful of is why we all know. I mean, we live in this society. It's a factor in our reality, in our everyday lives. You don't have to be black or white. You have to just have eyes. Now, you could deny what you're seeing and understand that there's a double standard here.
There you go.
You could pretend that, but Double J read us what the law, quote unquote, the rules, quote unquote, say is the appropriate behavior and punishment if that behavior is not followed. And they're violating their own standards by doing that.
Thank you.
Nevertheless, there's going to be some appeals and things, but you're absolutely right. I can't add much more to what you said and how you said it in terms of the clear, once again now, the clear hypocrisy of this foolishness.
Thank you. Double J?
Well, again, we've all seen the video on numerous occasions, and what's disturbing to me is the outcry. First with assault, which is, come on, let's be realistic
Thank
here. You got to be kidding. And sure, it's a violent game. If anything, I was more concerned. If I'm the NFL, I'm more concerned about the hit that took place on the wide receiver for Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
In which he left the game with concussion protocol, was bleeding from his nose. That image is far worse for the league than Myles Garrett waving a helmet.
Thank you. Thank you. Gully?
Well, it's hard to follow up with anything new, anything different than what you guys said. I mean, we've already pretty well, hit the nail on the head. I just want to echo again my frustration with the narrative that's being painted as if we have to look deeply to figure out what Mason Rudolph did. The evidence is clearly there. None of the clips that I've seen, very few of them start with the tackle or the stack, or if you will, the takedown of Mason Rudolph during the play. They all start with the mid scuffle and the helmet, and they never start at the precipitating factors. We never give any knowledge to that because they want to try to make that sound immature as it relates to us saying, well, he started it. Well, yeah, there has to be for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction, if the popular phrase goes. So we know a man threw a helmet, but why did he throw a helmet? You can't just say, oh, well, he was frustrated, but he needs to have composure. So let's talk about what was done to him beforehand, and then we can talk about what he did and how egregious it was.
Exactly. I got a few more points I want to make, but we got a caller. I appreciate you calling the show. Tell us what your name is and where you're calling from.
This is Prince Popper, and I'm from California.
Oh, you calling from the CALIF? You must know, Brother Rich. You got to know. Y'all got season tickets to the Lakers? Go Kobe. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man. What are you saying? We're talking about the whole incident and fiasco with that came towards the end of the Browns Steelers Thursday night get down or whatnot, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, and I know you guys said be brief, so I'll try my best to be brief. Basically, it's just I feel like there's a huge overreaction, and I think there's not enough culpability being put on Mason as well. I mean, from what I saw, the hit was what it was, and then Mason tried to take off the helmet, which was uncalled for, and so Myles ended that by taking off his helmet. He was being subdued by another one of Mason's teammates, and then for him to come run up on him like that, when you run up on somebody, especially if you got two of your boys holding you back, if you're running up on somebody, then after that, you pretty much got what's coming to you. So
thank you.
That was just my take on it. There's not enough culpability on both sides.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you for calling, man. Always. We're here Tuesday, 6 o'clock, man. Always check us out. You can check out our Facebook fan page, too, The Shop Report. We're here on Spreaker.com. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcast Play, man. I appreciate your insight on that. Thank you, man. Call back now.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I'm so glad he said that, because that was another element that I was going to bring up. At the end of the day, this is what I said. These dudes, they ain't never been in no street fight, okay? Because what Mason Rudolph did, now I don't know if you all ever played football, but I talked to some cats. Now, I didn't play officially with helmets and things of that nature, but I played it growing up. But I talked to cats who played it with helmets, and they said, man, for them to start it, because it's a chain of events, is what Gully, I think, was alluding to, the chain of events. So how do you go to the third link in the chain of events when the first link is the reason why it's a first and a second and a third? That's where you're going to start off at the fourth link? How dare you? Because my dude that played football, he said, if you look at it, when Mason didn't like what Myles did for whatever reason. He really didn't like the fact that he was losing. That's what they say. All right, but that's fine. He said, man, but while he was trying to pull his helmet off, he said, don't forget the chin strap is still connected. Imagine being in a fight with somebody, and at that point, I'm not saying that was a fight. I'm just saying in general. Imagine being in a fight with somebody, and you got on a sweat hood, and y'all get linked up, and the guy who you're fighting pulls your sweat hood over your face, and he's kind of holding it down with one hand, so you can't get it back. You need to see. You're technically blind. No, no offense, but you're technically blind. You can't see, and you're getting punched. Your everything is off. All you're trying to think about is, let me get this sweat hood off so I can see. And it actually happened to me in a fight. Guy surprised me. I got too close to him, and he pulled my sweat hood over my head. But the last thing I saw before he came over my face, I knew where his face was at, so I just threw a jab and caught him, and his hand let go, and I pulled the whole thing off. And if you think I'm lying, you can call Dre the Barber at Today's Cutting Style. It was at a Fat Friday that they used to have where I ran into Mike Tyson, literally and figuratively, and they'll tell you, and I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but it happened, and I'm the reason why, unfortunately, that was the last Fat Friday they had here in Cleveland. They used to have them at the Wallstein Center when all the colleges would come together, frats and so on and so forth. But anyway, so like the gentleman just pointed out, all of that's going on. It's like you drowning. You're in a panic. Myles was like, man, he was trying to get him up off of him. You understand what I'm saying? So then now Myles is heated, and now your emotions run high. So then Myles ripped his helmet off to basically say to him, hey, man, because you tried to rip mine off, let me show you who the strongest. That's what it looked like to me. Now, while everybody is being pushed away, Mason Rudolph, you going to come back for some more? Look, it may not be the same thing literally, but in a figurative sense, let's go back to this judicial system, this court thing, right? Have you ever seen a case where the judge say, well, wait a minute, sir. You mean to tell me that you left and you came back, you had a chance to walk away? Yes. In that instance, the person would get more time. because you had time to think about it and you didn't. But you're going to point out the fact, hey, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. Like I'm saying to you at the end of the day, man, I know I'm taking up a lot of time and I asked y'all to be brief, so stay with me. I'm just heated about this. I'm more so heated about the response from people. Oh, and then let me point out these two instances. And everybody want to talk about, well, that was 2003. This rules have changed. Man, stop it. It's still football, right? And if anything, the rules ain't changed for the better. But anyway, this guy, Sharif Aleem, put a post up on Facebook, and I'm glad he did. Because I knew it was, because what really bothered me when Damian Woody was saying he had never seen nothing like this before. And I'm like, what? Man, stop it. But anyway, Sharif put this post out in 2003. If you all recollect, Bill Romanowski, and I talked to Bill Romanowski, kind of pleasant guy, actually, if you talk to him on the phone. But anyway, beat his teammate, Marcus Williams, in the face with his helmet, leaving him with a fractured eye socket, broken nose, and missing teeth, thus ending his career. You know what Romanowski got? He was suspended one practice, but no regular season games. Now, explain that. And now, not to mention, he spit in J.J. Stokes' face and was only fined $7,500. But wait a minute, it get better. Our own Cleveland Indians, if you all remember, when David Justice was at the plate and it was Troy Percival. I think it was a playoff game, too. I'm not sure. But anyway, Troy Percival hit David Justice in the ribs. Now imagine getting hit with a fastball in your ribs, man. You don't. That's not supposed to hurt. You're just supposed to take it on the chin, huh? Yeah, okay. You got me messed up. He hit David Justice in the ribs. David Justice charged him on and throw his helmet at him and hit him in the head. And you know what the announcer for the Indians said, Rick Manning? Good for David Justice.
What?
He said that was a punk move by Troy Percival. He said, and he repeated it. It's on YouTube. Go look up the video. See what I'm saying? Rick Manning didn't say, you shouldn't throw you shouldn't. He said it was a weapon and all of that. In other words, you hit me with a fastball. You understand? You're going about to feel the same pain. You're going about to feel the same pain. And guess what? The reason why he hit David Justice, I'll just throw that in, because he had given up a home run, a go-ahead home run, but it wasn't David Justice who hit the home run. So if you're going to be mad, hit the guy who hit the home run. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Man, look, at the end of the day, even for football, I guess, it was uncalled for what Myles did, if you want to label it as such. All right, fine. But you telling me you watched that whole scenario jump off and that's the only uncalled for thing that you're going to point out and do so vehemently? If you look at Stephen A. and Damian Woody with the fervor that they were speaking on this, you would think that if they had been in front of Myles, they was going to scrap with him. They were going to try to hurt him bad, man. It's that serious for you, man. You really think whatever, man? I'm telling you, man. That's why I don't watch them no more. No more, man. You can't regulate what go down and what you go down with in a fight. Hey, like they say in boxing, protect yourself at all times. Anybody else want to add any last words on that or whatever? Because I'm telling folks, so stop acting like y'all ain't never seen nothing like that what Myles did. And he could have smashed Mason Rudolph. Like he could have smashed the guy who punched him in the face in Strongsville. And again, listen here. I just want to add, and I know I asked you all want to add, but let me just throw this in here. This is not about, I don't come from the position of, this is not a racist thing. This is what's right is right and what's wrong got to be addressed. I told you all many a time, I was raised to, when you deal with people, do so based on, based on their character. But unfortunately, you can't turn a blind eye to somebody who all they see is color. That's not what this is about today, people. This is about what's right is right and what's wrong got to be addressed. I said, everybody involved should have got a suspension. And you know what the part about it that really, really makes me mad, pisses me off even more than any of that? Myles Garrett was down there too long by himself. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to watch you, Brother Rich, or Double J, or Gully. Ain't no way in the world, man. I ain't the toughest guy. Don't claim to be. I don't like, hey, I don't want no trouble. But I'm not about to watch you get down with none. And I'm standing there eating popcorn. And then Baker Mayfield, I'm done with him. Done. You throw your teammate under the bus, man? I don't, y'all already know I do not like that at all. If anything, you tell the reporter, hey, look, man, look. I ain't watched the tape yet. Like OBJ and Landry was saying, basically. Or you could find, hey, OBJ was like, hey, man, that's ugly. Because they trying to get something. They want to make it way bigger than what it is. So they trying to get something out of you so they can say, yeah, look, yeah, and only to criminalize you even more. Man. Yeah, I'm through with that dude, man. I'm not, you throw your teammate under the bus around me. That's what I say. Again, anybody else want to say in last words on this before we go on to the next thing? Yeah, that's
well,
right.
I just want
go
to
ahead.
point out here
Go ahead.
that the very distinct issues that I have with this, and no different than the caller beautifully, poetically.
Yes, he did.
Walked us through.
Yes, he did.
Now, what's also being forgotten is that Myles Garrett not only, you got to remember when you take somebody to the ground, sure, it might have been a little excessive. Let's acknowledge that, because again, just given the nature of the fact, but you cannot read someone's mind.
Thank you.
Sure, there's 8 seconds in the game remaining, but you're told to play until you hear a whistle. So this, he should have. What should he have done? How frequently do we hear about, this guy? They'll knock a player because he takes plays off.
Thank you.
So yeah, here we have a perfect example of someone doing his job.
Thank you.
Doing his job.
Finishing
Now,
the play.
there was no whistle, so he has no idea if Rudolph has the ball or not.
Thank you.
But again, upon getting to the ground, this guy has stunk on ice the entire evening. He's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost both of his starting receivers. And the fact that he just got thrown down with 8 seconds to go, he's had enough. And so what does he choose to do? I'm going to try to take your helmet off. Then, once I realize I've failed in that and you're succeeding in pulling off mine, I'm going to kick you in the groin with cleats. Now, first of all, I'm going to give it to you from my end. If I were Myles Garrett and I took that groin kick, I'm not being restrained. I'm getting restrained after I've hit him a few times after directly falling right back on top of him.
Yeah.
And you would have preferred I had the outcome with the helmet rather than what actually would have taken place.
From the groin kick.
What is beyond me is the fact that he would have been far worse looking, and I probably would have gotten less of a penalty in terms of a suspension for hitting him 2 or 3 times, giving that 3-piece to go.
Yeah, with some mean greens and some gravy on the side.
That's disturbing to me. But here's the thing: if you're you go to fight another individual, you go into a street fight and you brought a bat and then you're disarmed, and then you make the choice. Again, you make the choice to re-engage, and then you get hit with that same bat. That is on you. You are paying a stupid tax.
Thank you. And that's stupid.
I don't know what was going through that kid's mind. And what's even more disturbing about this entire thing is that I don't even want to mention the Cleveland player's name, and that's why I'm leaving it at that.
Yeah,
because
please.
We're not saying Mason Rudolph's name enough. Why are there not follow-up questions with him? We're on to Tuesday, and again, we know it's been 4 days since that game took place.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 or 5 days now, and where's the media talking to him?
Thank you. Yeah, when you say stupid text, I'm spelling that STOOPID. Stupid. Good stuff, Double J. The number to call is area code 267-687-0026. 267-687-0026. I had a few more things I really kind of wanted to say on that, but I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride for now. I think we did it. We covered it pretty good. I would say. You all think we did pretty good in that first portion of the program?
Absolutely.
Okay, good stuff. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick and getting his shot. Or is he to play in the NFL again? Couple questions, gentlemen. Number one, this baffled. I'm just baffled. That's why I'm asking the question. How is it you sue your employer, right, and you win? Okay. Now, one thing, if you're the NFL and you don't feel as if though you've done anything wrong up until that point in blackballing him or whatever it is you were doing, why settle with the guy unless you have something that need to be uncovered, right, or that you're uncomfortable about? That's number one. Number two, I don't understand. I just don't understand. So you all are going to have to help me understand why Kaep is really trying to get a shot, or is he even really, really trying to get a shot, or making it appear as he's trying to get a shot? You see what I'm saying? Because he finally did get a shot to do his little workout or whatnot. I don't know. If I sue my employer, I ain't trying, because if you try to go back and work for them, you already know that, they're going to be feeling some type of way. We can give you, we give you money, and then you come back here and you're making more money, and then we got to look at you. I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me. So, Brother Rich, because there's a few things I'm gonna mention on this, but I want to get you all's take right quick before I go into the other stuff that I wanted to point out. So go ahead, Brother Rich. I mean, what is this? What is all? What does it say to you?
I held back myself on the last topic because I wanted to. I kind of knew they would tie into each other in addressing this topic. Mm-hmm. And so, please, if I extend myself or go beyond, please pause me and let me know.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
But here's the issue we're looking at fundamentally with Kaepernick, and we're looking at with the previous topic you brought up, Myles Garrett. We're looking at the NFL as a conglomerate. We're looking at the NFL as an unanswerable power. No, they don't answer to anyone, not even the president. They talk to the president. The president is afraid how he or she addresses them at certain times, except this particular current president who tries to direct them. But even then, they are a force to be reckoned with. Now, are we to believe that the NFL does not have some control in, say, at ESPN? Now, let's look at NFL's relationship with ESPN and ESPN's relationship with Stephen A. Smith, and contracting him now to be the mouth of the South to echo the fundamental cares and concerns of the NBA and now the NFL, apparently because of his relationship with Jay-Z and that connection there. So here we have Kaepernick, who knows that he has decided to be a social justice warrior. He knows that there's a collusion. He knows that they're keeping him out of the league. He knows that they've kept him out of doing this. Now, let me ask the listeners this question. If you had wanted to do something your entire life, you grew up playing football, and this is what you wanted to do, and you achieved the opportunity to do that, and then you found out that one day the only reason they're telling you cannot do this is because you cared about somebody else that you didn't even have to care about. And that's the only reason, and everybody knows that. Are you telling me I would sue your ass to oblivion if I could, too? I would sue you every time I got a chance to, and that's what this young man is doing. And he's suing their backside into the abyss, and they understood they had to set up this state thing. And remember what has come out of this. And I thank you for directing me to look at listen to the snippets, Double J, of the conversation today on First Take about surrounding this, and in particular Matt Kellerman and Howard Bryant's response in all of these matters with respect to they were trying to get Kaep to sign some waiver that would have taken away his rights to be a citizen, be a person, to have rights at any time going forward as it relates to his relationship with the NFL.
Can I stop you right there, Brother Rich?
Counsel tells him absolutely.
Let me stop you. Hold that thought. When you said the waiver, and let me let folks out there know, and as my panel here knows, we all grew up, and our parents told us, if they ain't tell us nothing else, they told us this: don't ever sign anything without reading it first. Don't ever sign nothing. And that's what they tried to get him to do, just sign here on the dotted line. Because you don't know what it is you're signing for. Go ahead, Brother Rich, continue.
Thank you. And remember, his attorney, as you just told us correctly, his attorney told him not to sign this. And other attorneys have I've seen it on Twitter. Powerful attorneys, the well-known attorneys have said if somebody advised Kaepernick to sign that, they would have been committing malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
It was that much of a legal malfeasance to even advise him to sign anything like that. Now, in the world where any of us have come into contract, if you are Colin Kaepernick and you have the kind of attorney, Mark Garagos, who is a very high-profile attorney, he's not somebody we don't know. He's high-profile in the terms that he defended and performed in criminal cases.
Mm-hmm.
He's appeared on some of the most high-profile cases we've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
He tells the man not to sign this. And then you get Stephen A. Smith to go on and say Kaepernick is the person that's wrong because he should have just done it. And these are the people you wonder why. So when you were talking earlier, when you brought up the subject earlier about Myles Garrett, the only thing, my dear friend, is I'm not surprised when you tell me what Stephen A. Smith says or Booger or whoever, because when I pay you, you're going to sing the song I tell you to sing. When I pay you $8 million, you're going to sing from this opera sheet, and you better not dare go outside of that. And the NFL doesn't want an issue where their biggest mouth is siding with Colin Kaepernick and being a social justice warrior, when the whole point, they remember, this is ESPN, who went through a prolific experiment last year of silencing everybody. We can point to prominent people on their network that were silenced, and some of them were fired and gotten rid of for speaking their mind. But you pay him $8 million to just rah-rah, shish kumbah all day for the league and the NFL and say the players are wrong and just holler all day to get off the weed. But you don't have no problem with them taking all kind of barbiturates and killing their livers and their kidneys. You won't address all these CTE, but that's my comment there.
Yeah, no, it's all to the good. Double J. Actually, we won't go to Gully. But, Gully, before you say anything, let me point out right quick one of the things that I found in regards to all of this. Before this workout took place, Jemele Hill put something out on Twitter. I don't know if you all saw this, but she said the NFL also isn't slick. If it's true that Kaep has to fall in line to get a job, then that's not a real opportunity. That also proves for the umpteenth time that him being out of the league was never about football. Go, Gully.
Man, this one is it's becoming an increasingly delicate situation for me to even provide an opinion on, because at this point, when we're talking about the issue behind this workout and the fallout from the workout changing venues, this is separate from the issue that originally perhaps started this whole thing, right? About the kneeling, going back 3 years ago, about him kneeling and protesting, him having a peaceful protest, and what the kneeling represented, and was the kneeling disrespectful, and was the reason for his kneeling disrespectful? All of that aside, this here is very delicate, because the reason why I say that is because I'm starting to understand more about the idea of this waiver being the source of contention. Okay, and from what I can understand, if what I've heard is to be true, then I guess there is an issue with this waiver. My challenge with the idea of this waiver being a challenge was, how soon before this workout was he presented the document, if you will, that he needed to sign? Because if 30 minutes before the day, so has a last minute assignment, has a last minute throwaway, they decide to have this waiver. He didn't have this waiver no time before that.
No time before. This is a brand new waiver they just created for this. Okay,
so if it's a brand new waiver, then I'm inclined, based on the optics, I'm inclined to have a lot of agreement with Stephen A. Smith pointing out the idea that 30 minutes before the workout, the location was changed, and those in location seem to have apparel that would suggest they were all in unison. They were all in uniform. You know what I'm saying? In one accord, on one accord. To me, that sounds like the makings of a situation that changed the narrative. It was all about optics. I'm not necessarily certain it was about him trying to do a tryout for football anymore. And for that, I'm having an issue with trying to side with Colin Kaepernick, because my point with all that is saying is it sounds like he's trying to make a point about the NFL that would not make sense for him to continue trying to seek employment from the NFL, and that's where I'm very confused. And even my statement.
Yeah, but let me say this.
May I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question, but Jay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Based on what you're saying. I'm asking you this. Based on what you just said, I'm asking you that if you worked at IBM and you found out that IBM fired you because somebody did not like your particular peculiar political position, they fired you. Now, you sued them and proved, yes, they say, okay, look, this is the deal. We're not going to say it's true, but we're going to make a deal with you. Take a few $1 million.
Yeah, no contest.
This is what you do. You no contest. This is your livelihood. Whatever you did at IBM. Now IBM went around the back and said, not only are we going to keep you from doing this forever, because we know you only got a certain shelf life to do what you do, because IBM is about to go out of business. And before IBM go out of business, we're going to make sure you never work for IBM again. Now, once you realize that this is going to impact your livelihood, your lifestyle going forward, they're impacting you because they have kept you from making potentially hundreds. Look, they're giving away money to NFL quarterbacks today. Now, if I'm sitting on the sideline and every week I got to read and understand this quarterback is hurt, they won't hire Colin Kaepernick. Quarterback is hurt. And what is the reason they won't hire Colin Kaepernick? Why? Because Colin Kaepernick had the nerve to kneel in response to a social crisis. Now, if you, Stephen A. Smith, believe and others believe, man, come on. He should have just went and did the workout and signed the paperwork. To hell with all of that. If you really want a job, just do it. You all are denying the fundamental point that the conglomerate, the collusion, Cap knows like everybody else knows, like you know, Stephen A. knows, Jay-Z knows. Jay-Z's just doing this to look good, to pass off on the people that he's done something. They know good well that Kaepernick will never play in the NFL again, and Cap knows it, and he's doing this to show and make his point legally, professionally, and to prove, like Ali did, I was right in the beginning, and I'm going to continue to prove that I'm right.
And let me say this.
Brother Richard.
Play me.
Brother Richard,
hold
at
on.
the end of what you just said, go ahead.
Let me say this. At the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick is saying, play me, you play yourself. I don't care whether he – listen.
Fact.
Listen. He knows he ain't playing in NFL ever again. He knew that a year ago. Now, in other words, I'll do the workout thing. I'll do all that. If it happened, okay, it happened. But it ain't set in stone with him. Like, hey, I'm trying to get it. He not really trying. That's why I say, man, you don't sue your employer and think you're gonna really get another shot. He going through the motion. Look, y'all want to play the fool. I'm gonna play the fool. But here's the killer part: the NFL ain't never had no intention on giving him those, because the way it was set up was suspect on their part. The idea that you came with the waiver at the last minute, and let me back up a couple years. This whole idea with him kneeling, once again, the narrative was him, right? But not once, very little did you hear about the fact that it was a veteran who told him to kneel. It was a veteran who told him to kneel. Every time we hear this situation about Colin Kaepernick, all we hear is about Colin Kaepernick. Let's talk about the veteran who told him, hey, man, you should kneel. But we're not mentioning him. You know why? What's already understood need not be explained. Come on, man.
No, it's not that.
So, no,
it's the fight go ahead.
Go ahead, Double J.
Well, let's follow the money here.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, your tax-paying dollars. That means Brother Rich. That means our esteemed host. That means you, Gully, as well as myself. The Department of Defense gives the NFL a minimum of $6 million a year.
Ooh.
Why? So they can do these flag celebrations, not to have somebody like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and taking away the quote-unquote patriotism. To get these football fans that are about action and gladiatorism and everything that comes with it, the violence, to say, you know what, I'm going to salute my country and I'm going to join and go, go to combat because it follows the same common interest that I have.
Double J, can I add something?
Let's call a spade here.
Right. Can I add something right quick, though? If you see, people just want to grab an expression and a narrative and just push it, but not understanding the expression and what the expression means. If you really go back and look it up, what they're trying to say about Kaepernick in his, I can't find a word for it, going against whatever, patriotism or whatnot, the flag is not supposed to adorn no football field from the beginning. It's written in the Constitution. The flag is not supposed to be draped over your head, not worn in any shape, form, or fashion other than when it is for an honor of a soldier or so on and so forth. So the NFL and everybody is doing these flyovers and all that shit, they being disrespectful to the flag too. But you're going to point his out because you don't like his. Never mind. Go ahead, Double J. I digress.
So then let's dive into to further your guys' point about the whole workout. Now, Kaep and his team was already in Atlanta the weekend prior to this thing happening. So they'd already been in the area for the better part of a week. So it was not, hey, we just got there and then we made this rash change. They had to have a plan B because they knew that, look, the media controls the narrative for the majority of the masses that aren't, dare I say, as Kanye West would say, free thinkers.
Okay, so let me ask you this right quick, Double J.
They're going to take their word for it.
Let me ask you this.
This is why this is significant.
Hold on. Let me ask you this right quick. So when the NFL put together this workout the first go round and they said no media, do you think that was so that they could? Because I could go in the room and me and Brother Rich could go in the room and talk, be like, no, then I can come out and tell you whatever I want to tell you. Do you think that was the case? And I think that's why in part Kaep changed the venue too. Okay, go ahead, finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because at that point, to what they were the picture they were trying to paint is they were going to be able to write him off and say, hey, we sent it for the teams that showed up. They were able to see firsthand he's no longer an elite talent.
Thank you.
And we sent the tape off to the rest of the team. And then guess what? We gave the guy a shot, and now he gets to go away.
Oh.
And unfortunately, this blew up in their face. This was the Trojan horse.
Exactly.
He, as you pointed out, does not have a team of uneducated people that don't know how to read contract language or waiver language, in which case, let's talk a little about that for a minute. They said, if you listen or read, rather, the league statement, the key takeaway, because the league tried to paint this picture, well, this is what we give people that are at combine. But they said based off of. Meaning that was the foundation, and they changed it.
This is why word choice is very crucial, people. Go ahead, Double J.
Again, for the majority of people, they would have read that, and they would have said, well, wait a minute, he's just trying to be a diva. He doesn't want to play.
But Double J, let me interrupt
you. Instead, again, they edited.
But wait a minute. All right.
Hold on, let me interrupt you.
Getting lost.
What's lost?
Okay. What's lost in this for me is, am I supporting Kaepernick's pursuit to play football again?
No.
Or
no.
Hold on, wait. Or okay, because here's the thing, because a lot of people who are taking issue with his actions are those who are I guess ignorantly supporting his thinking we're supporting him in his pursuit to play football again. But clearly it's not about that anymore.
Listen.
So a lot of people are being chastised, criticized, or insulted for taking issue with the fact that what Kaepernick did, unfortunately, all but forfeits his ability to play football again.
And let me tell you
now,
something.
We know why. We're starting to understand why. But my thing is, guys like Stephen A., guys like myself, we can't be criticized and chastised for taking issue with Colin Kaepernick forfeiting his opportunity to play football again, because it's clearly laid out that that's not what this was about, him moving the venue.
But it didn't take
it was about him.
But it didn't. But listen, if you've been following the story, it didn't take this instance for you to see that. We knew Colin Kaepernick wasn't going to. Man, we knew. Man, listen. Listen. Then guess what? With all due respect.
Because remember.
No. With all due respect, you fooled yourself. If you didn't know that when. Listen, I'm about to tell you.
Wanting to play football again?
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
No.
Listen.
No, here's the thing here. That the workout was a Trojan horse. The league's weapon was the waiver planted inside.
Thank you.
The sweeping victory for the league would have been one Kaepernick signature away. Here's why. If you read the broad language of that waiver, NFL could have altered any agreement made with Kaepernick, regardless of how damaging those changes or actions may have been. So that includes, Gully, the league could have refused to release the tapes of the workout with no recourse.
Come on, man.
Or the teams themselves could have allowed to instruct Kaepernick that he would be unemployable if he knelt for the national anthem. They would have owned him.
And let me tell you something else. All of
they
them.
Don't want. This is what we're missing in all of this is they don't want you. They don't care if you're a drug addict. They'll support you. Look at Josh Gordon. How many chances has Josh Gordon got?
Hello. But
you want to kneel for the anthem and mess with our money? Then guess what? We want you to be obedient.
Thank you.
That's what this is about.
Thank you. And you trace obedience and being obedient all the way back to what? I'll rest my case. But I'll say this. Them people that you talk. Okay, hold on. Them people that you talk about.
To finish my thought, Jay.
But them people that you're talking about, because I'm going back to something you said a minute ago. Them people that you're talking about, all of them people who thought it was about him really getting a shot or whatever it is, they just like that girl in that commercial when she was walking down the street with that guy that had the glasses on, and the one guy said he was talking to her about and she's like, oh, where'd you get that from? The internet? Oh, okay, the internet. He's an Italian prince or whatever she said. You all remember that commercial? These are people who, like the Pavlovian theory, like George Orwell's 1984, and anybody else, they don't read. They get all the information. That's why I said you have to be careful. When you're a media outlet, and I'm not speaking for all media, but a lot of them, when you're a media outlet, you drive. You're in the driver's seat. You drive there. People are lambs. You drive what people think. If people are not willing to think for themselves, then guess what? Just like whoever it is that grew up watching Young and the Restless, you have people at work who haven't went to work after have watched the Young and the Restless and talking about the Young and the Restless and the characters like they was in there with them. People don't think for themselves, man. That's why you have to read. That's why you got to listen. It wasn't about him.
All right. If that's the case, then no. Understanding everything you laid out and you articulated the nuances of that waiver, then knowing that the NFL isn't who the NFL presents themselves to be, having went through a lawsuit because of the disenfranchisement or the collusion to prevent you from having a job, you cannot at the same time support Kaepernick and support his pursuit to get back in the NFL.
It was for show. It was a dog and pony show. It was a dog and pony show. He wasn't.
Hold on, wait.
Hold it. Okay.
Because you just explained. Because Brother Rich, you all three of you have just explained why the pursuit for him getting back on the field was a fool's errand. Because his whole point was to expose the NFL even more, and he had done that up until the point where it's almost like he kind of expected the NFL to try something, which in fact they did. They showed their hand. And
what'd you expect from a snake? What else do you expect from a snake? What else did you expect from a snake?
Okay, so if you expect from a snake, so then why are we supporting this man trying to run back through back through a snake's garden.
Listen, we're supporting him.
You
Listen.
can't support his pursuit. You can't support his pursuit.
Listen, you keep saying, listen.
You can't advance himself back to the NFL. He's already, you guys have already just.
He's an elite talent.
So let me answer. No.
No.
Okay, hold it. Hold it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What could Kaep do? Tell me what you suggest. Colin Kaep do. He's 30-something years old. What should he do for the rest of his life to maintain the standard of living that he's grown used to? Now he gives money to this, but he's already used to a certain standard of living on his own, independently wealthy. Now, tell me what he should do, or should he just cower in the corner and say, oh, well, they don't want me. I should just stay here and shut up. That's, in essence, what Stephen A. is telling us. Just be quiet and go away. Don't. And if you're going to come on the field, be a good little boy and don't give these people any problem. And certainly, by all means, don't stand up for yourself, because we all got to make compromises. This is what he's saying to the young man. We all got to make certain compromises. And if they tell you to do a jig and do a dance, and you just do the jig and do the dance, and then we can support you. So here's my question to you. Does he not have a right to, try to go back in the league? And then while he's doing that, because that's his passion, he loves football, and while he's doing it, he's still being colluded against, set up a situation where you can sue them again to show them that they're keeping you from earning a living.
Brother Rich, hold on. Hold on, brother. Before you answer that, Gully. Brother Rich, let me tell you what this is all about. Well, when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, I knew he wasn't going to ever play in the NFL again.
Back.
I knew it, because in this country, listen, in this country that we live in, you understand? There are people in high places who look at me and see my color and see me as less than a man. Do you understand? He was not getting back in the Good Old Boy Network for nothing, because he had touched a nerve that you don't even know that they got. That's just the reality of it. But guess what? I'm going to play this song and dance with y'all, because every time y'all say my name, it still continues to shed light on the message in which I kneel for in the first place. Him going for a workout with the NFL was a formality. Guess what? And if a job come out of it, oh, well, that's just icing on the cake. He wasn't trying to get.
You just said it. You just said it yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's the position that I'm in. You just said it. I mean, you guys are.
Why are you supporting a guy who playing football when he wasn't going to never play football again? You see what you all you should.
Here's my point. Here's my point with all of this. We should all be wanting him on that field.
Thank you.
Because why are we trained? Why are we trained to believe we have to compromise who we are, or
Thank
our
you.
values, or whatever, however we feel, because whoever the employer says
okay,
so.
let me. Okay, so Double J, Brother Rich, Barbershop. What's your opinions on Ezekiel Elliott?
In regards to what? That's ambiguous.
What's your opinion on Ezekiel Elliott as a running back, as he standout running back in the league? Do you support him? Do you appreciate what he's done?
Absolutely.
Yeah, from a player's
standpoint. So why are you criticizing him? Because he forfeited his right to protest.
Because he didn't choose to stand up for himself and be punished because of it. That's why we stand up for Colin. Because Colin Kaepernick chose to stand up for people who he didn't need to stand up to. That's why Ezekiel Elliott don't have to stand up for them, and Jay-Z don't have to, because they don't give a skip about them people. But that young man said, you know what? Not only have I lived a wonderful life. Remember, this is a young man who was raised by a white family, who never had these peculiar issues until he met a woman who inspired change in his life and inspired him to say, let's go back and hear what he said himself. The first time he was questioned, he said, people are getting murdered out here, and somebody needs to do something about it. That's all he ever did.
All things considered, I don't have any.
No.
All things considered, his pursuit.
Hold on. Let me finish.
What I'm saying is,
let him finish.
His pursuit.
Let him finish.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm telling them. Let you finish. Go ahead.
All right. All I'm saying is his pursuit for re-entry into the NFL. by default, you can't support it because it's not about going back to the NFL. That's what I'm.
But you're supporting him. You're supporting him in the stance that he took.
By default, you can't because we know it's an impossible mission because the circumstances by which he would get back in the NFL would require him to compromise everything he set out and been out for. That's
not necessarily.
You can't legitimately.
Not necessarily.
Because
listen.
You guys just outlined the waiver.
That's not true, Gully.
How is it possible? Because
that same waiver, that waiver should expose the NFL for what
exactly. But no, it didn't because it didn't expose the NFL for what they are.
Hold on.
Yep.
Somebody.
Everybody from MSN to Forbes, all of them was able to see that and expose the league for that. So if I'm the league, I'm saying get that man in a damn uniform as quick as I can to make this go away.
Thank you.
Take our one
and if they
loss.
weren't arrogant, Double J, they would have done exactly that. But they're too arrogant. They got a point to prove. We're going to break this so-and-so.
Exactly. And that's what I'm – but we already – but look, just like you said, Barbershop, you said that when he first started in the league, you knew he wasn't going to play again. This waiver is just it's the freshest example of the NFL's position on him and the protest and one of the same.
Hey, listen.
If you genuinely want him to get back on the field, it's not going to happen.
But if you one of them people, if you one of them people, if you one of them,
NFL is going to continue. They can't allow Colin Kaepernick on the NFL back in the league without compromising his voice. It's basically what we're saying.
If you're one of those people who genuinely want him back on the field, then that's somewhat foolish because he wasn't going to get in there from the beginning. Listen, that's like I said, it's a formality.
So that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. You can't legitimately want him to get back on the field because it runs afoul of his whole mission. Him get back on the field, if he were able to get back on the field, he would have to compromise his voice. And you guys just articulated that because of the suspect waiver. And it's been articulated because of the years he spent out.
Why does he have to compromise? Double J asked you the question. Why does he have to compromise his voice? That's fundamental. That's the point of this.
Right.
Hold it. Hey, I don't want to mute. I don't want to have to mute nobody. Somebody has some. I'm hearing an echo. Somebody got either their phone turned up or they listening, their computer turned up or something because I'm hearing it. So let's go back to it. Everybody making strong points, but let's one at a time here. Okay, so Brother Rich asked you he asked you what Double J asked. So go ahead, Gully, answer that.
Okay, the question is asked: Why does Colin Kaepernick have to compromise his integrity?
Why should he have
in order to get back on the field?
Yes.
Why should he have to? I'm not suggesting that he has to. I'm suggesting that I'm not suggesting that as an opinion. I'm suggesting that this is the current state. This is the objective point. This is the fact that this is the state of where we are. In order for Colin Kaepernick to get back on the field, he is going to have to do that. And I'm saying to you that because of everything he's went through with the NFL already, he should have known that. It's not fair. I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm not saying that it's right. But I'm saying that for Colin Kaepernick, you need to Colin Kaepernick.
That's the central point. You just gave it away. That's the central point. If you're acknowledging that it's not fair and it's not right, what is his recourse? Is his recourse not to continue to pursue in America, as we have the right to do? Is his recourse not to continue to pursue every avenue, either to get back in the league or if he knows that they're colluding against him, to continue to pursue avenues to get legal recourse? What you and Stephen A are saying is he should just go away. And what we're asking you today is if you
know I'm saying is the idea of
hold it one at a time. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
Okay. I'm saying the idea of us being frustrated with his actions. I can't even speak for Stephen A. I thought I could. I can't even speak to him. I'm saying for myself. The idea of me being frustrated with Colin Kaepernick's actions as it relates, it's unfair for me to be able to put me in the same box of saying, oh, well, you know what, he should just shut up and be quiet. Because what I'm telling you is he was going to have to do that. Colin Kaepernick was going to have to do that if he himself wanted to get back on the field. So if I really supported Colin Kaepernick, I should say, hey, man, do whatever you got to do to expose the NFL. But I can't participate. If I really support you, Colin Kaepernick, I can't support your pursuit to get back in the NFL. I got to support everything you do to expose the nature of the NFL, because to get back on the field would force him to have to compromise his integrity.
Okay,
that's what's going to have to happen to Colin Kaepernick.
Listen.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen.
And those two are ideologically not in sync.
Okay, listen. Ideologically, they maybe not. But guess what? It's a first time for everything. Picture this. You go into a spot or whatever it is, and you're not really thinking, they might, your wife saying, you really going to go? Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to just see. I don't think they're going to give it to me, but I'm going to go, and we'll see. And you go there. Humor me. And guess what? You get a job out of it. Oh, okay, hey, all right, well, there it is. You didn't really go there expecting one, but if you get one, so be it. Because we already know what this is. This thing go way deep. This is Rockefeller Rothschild deep. You understand what I'm saying? Them folks up there who run this action. We knew what the deal was, but the NFL make themselves look stupid and more stupider and more stupid with two O's, P-I-D, like Double J pointed out earlier. See me? That's what they look like. It's a formality, man. And guess what? By default, if you get another actual shot, okay, well, there it is. Because I ain't come here really expecting one, but I just want to show y'all, play me, you play yourself. But at the end of the day, you're not supporting whether he's going to play football or not. Who cares? You're supporting what he stood for.
I mean,
he don't have to compromise nothing, because if they give him a shot.
I don't think you can support what he stood for if you want him to play on the field again.
Why not?
I would support, because
man, there's dudes out here wearing dresses now, man. It's dude.
I would say
it's dudes out here wearing dresses now, man.
He can't get on the field unless he compromises himself.
Listen,
he can't get on the field unless he compromises.
Listen, it's 2019.
Colin Kaepernick can't.
It's 2019. You can do whatever you want. This dude's wearing dresses now, man. You see, everything is awkward in this world, for the most part.
So
ain't nothing is what it's supposed to be.
So then so I remain hopeful. I guess then I remain hopeful that one of the few teams that actually did make it to the Atlanta area high school, that did send representatives from their teams, do like enough of what they see for him to give him a contract. That's the last shot we got at the moment.
But guess what?
That would be a fortunate. That would be a fortunate. Lucky, if you will, lucky circumstance. Because otherwise, I don't see how it can happen.
Listen, that's why I started this off with. That's why I asked the question. I said, look, man, you sue your employer, and then you go work for that employer. You don't think they're going to be trying to sabotage you and all that, because they're going to be feeling some type of way about that. I get it. But again, we ain't talking about, this ain't no regular 9 to 5 now. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? It's a first time for everything. If the dude went there as a formality, he probably was telling his girlfriend, this is a joke, man. I will go, but man, please. She's like, you think you're going? She might be like, I hope you get a job. He's like, what? Get a job? Man, they ain't trying to give me no damn job. It's a dog and pony show. I'm going to raise your dog and raise you 2 ponies. I'm going to show up. But guess what happened? Sometimes everybody don't think it's everybody like he get up and he throw a 60, 70-yard bomb. They're like, okay, well, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. Did you see that, Bob? Did you see that? No, I wasn't expecting
it. Can I just point this out? That this is a league. This is a league that only 10 years ago formed the Rooney Rule.
Interesting point.
It's the same league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you want to talk about how backwards.
Yeah, it is. That's what
things are.
Yeah, they are. Anything could happen nowadays. Guess what? You could sue your employer and get a job, and not and in your contract when you because whatever the NFL put forth, the waiver form and all that kind of stuff, whatever it is, that was some BS. That's what I couldn't. I said, look, man, when he formed his own workout or whatever it is, they was trying to control the narrative. He said, no, I'm going to take it back from you. Now it's your turn. And then we just going to keep going back and forth. But guess what? This ain't going away. That's my whole point. This ain't going away. See what I'm saying? Like other situations and instances that we done had and dealt with in this country, they mention it, and in the next 5 minutes, people on to something else, and they've completely forgotten. As long as he in the news, as long as he in the headlines, it ain't going away. That's a win every day. It ain't going away. This world is bass awkward in a nutshell. Everything that should be happening ain't happening. Everything that ain't happening should be happening. I mean, it's what and
unfortunately, I'm tired of this conform or die mentality.
Me too.
As a society.
Me too. When the person telling you to conform, they ain't conforming theirs.
So what about the rest of the players in the league?
What about them?
Are they participating in the conform and die mentality? The guy's not named Eric Reed.
Eric Reed has not, but many others did. Think about how many people knelt with Kaepernick. And then remember that the league put out, they didn't have a mandate because that was illegal, but within their right, they were able to independently, on a per owner by owner basis, they had some kind of rule set in place. In which case you saw a lot less kneeling, which meant, yes, you're absolutely right. There was a lot of conforming. Why? Because I have mouths to feed. The same reasons why people don't take a leap of faith and go for their dreams every day, because they have bills to pay.
Yeah, good point.
So, Gully, you're in essence saying you agree with the NFL's position on this, that players should. So you agree, and I hate to bring up this owner.
No, I don't think
with our host owner, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, that this is my house, and in my house, in my field, in my plantation, you behave like I say. You're not going to kneel in Dallas. So you in essence agree with that. So if I'm going to play in the NFL, I should do as they say. And I should deny I should do exactly as they say, put blinders on and deny that. That's what you agree?
No, I will admit, it sounds as if I'm trying to run away from the position. I'm just saying,
you're a strong one.
Like that. It absolutely is that. That's what you're telling us.
No,
I don't think he was in agreement with that, Brother Rich. That's not what he's saying.
No, I've never said that. I've never submitted that. I'm saying that if I genuinely wanted Colin Kaepernick to get back on the field, if I has one that genuinely wanted Colin Kaepernick to get back on the field, being a fan of his as an athlete, being a fan of being a supporter of his plight, I already knew the NFL was going to try something shady, at least to him specifically, in order to allow him to get back on the field. If I genuinely want him to get back on the field, then I knew that was going to happen, that something like that was going to happen to him. So I can't really want him to get back on the field, because then I would be supporting him compromising his integrity.
Okay.
Because what he did by showcasing the waiver was further explain just how shady the NFL was. That is really what I wanted to support for Colin Kaepernick. It can't be to support him to get back on the field. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And so for people getting frustrated with that,
Okay. Got you. All right. All right. That's some good stuff. Good stuff. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you're still listening, you want to give us a shout. The number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. See, this is why I have y'all on here. See what I'm saying? Because we bring in the noise. Yeah, I'm hearing. Y'all hear the echo too? Did you all hear that?
Yes, it sounds like a speaker feedback.
You know what that is? What
is it?
Barbershop.
What?
That's the sounds from the stadium, from Cowboy Stadium, where fans are still cheering for you.
Really?
That's what that is. That's what you hear, because I don't hear it. I think you only hear the Cowboys fans cheering for you, man.
You mean reporting live from the Salvation Army poll within?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say something to y'all. But it's my I have to I have to acknowledge my religious faith right now. Yeah, I was gonna say, and Brother Rich, you keep starting it. See what I'm saying? That's you starting this stuff, but that's okay.
I can't help you, sir.
Yeah, I got something for you. All right, moving on.
Hey, listen, he mentioned Jerry Jones in this question to me, so I just felt like the seed was planted. Thank you, Brother Rich, for that pointed question. Using Jerry Jones.
You're always welcome.
All right, thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's not me. Because I heard when Brother Rich just said something to echo the feedback or whatever it is. That's not me. But anyway, we rolling right along. We're going to keep on rolling. Feedback or not, echo or not. I hope the folks out there can discern between the two. Yeah, but this whole Cowboys thing, I think I'm going to do the next show we get ready to do here. I think I'm going to put together something special for Brother Rich, Double J, and you, Gully, if you join in next week. I got something for y'all because I'm about done had it. Y'all keep talking about me and this doggone Cowboys, and I'm a Raiders fan and a Matt Stafford fan is what I'm a fan of. Now, y'all ain't gave me not one mention of the Lions nor the Raiders. Now, why is that? I know why. Y'all need to put the Morgan David down for a day. Anywho, moving right along, like I tried to say 25 minutes ago, let's talk about this whole deal or this whole ordeal with the NCAA and Penny Hardaway. We all know Penny is the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, and we've already discussed the NCAA and their foulness and vileness and hypocrisy and so on and so forth. But this is just another little tidbit in the ongoing discussion of what's happening with the NCAA and this whole pay-to-play deal. Now, we all know, we've seen the story or followed the story enough to know that James Wiseman, I believe is the young man's name. I mean, the guy's a phenom. And I'm not familiar with him. My son told me about him the other day. And he said, yeah, man, and his eyes lit up about this James Wiseman. So I guess this guy must be good. I'm pretty sure Double J and Gully, you heard of him. I don't know about you, Brother Rich. We too old. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. After 8 o'clock,
right.
we put our bunny slippers on and get our cup of hot cocoa. And read stories to the kids, even though they're grown and not home. But anyway, the NCAA then said that this guy, Mr. Wiseman, is ineligible. And just to give you a summation about what happened, apparently Penny helped a young man when he was still a baby. Him and his family move. That was 3,000 years ago. The NCAA, because they feeling some type of way, they ain't they feelings about all this, their way of how they operate is slowly but surely coming undone. So, I mean, you back an animal into a corner, what do it do? It's fight or flight type of deal, right? So they just grasping, I think. Retroactively impose a fine on this on Penny in the Memphis for helping this young man out however many eons and many moons ago. Are you serious? So I don't know how true it is because I've been trying to I don't get to watch much games as I used to anyway. This is the busy season at the post office, and I mean, it's really busy this year. And we're understaffed, so, it is what it is. That's why I have you gentlemen on here to kind of fill me in when I don't get to see. I haven't had a chance to catch any Memphis games, but from what I'm understanding here, from my understanding, should I say, or from the few things I done read so far, Penny is getting ready to do something unprecedented that will put the NCAA as an entity. It might just flip it upside down like the Sodom and Gomorrah. He said he going to play the young man anyway, despite him being ineligible. Double J, please tell me what's going on.
Well, there's a number of things at stake here, and again, despite him not playing in their most recent game versus Alcorn State, again, this whole situation loomed very much large over the entire arena because he was still present. Again, this whole situation in a nutshell is still somewhat developing as we speak. But yeah, the NCAA is very much there. There was a heck of a transition because we went from one collusion-based corrupt organization to another.
Exactly.
And simply put, you're not allowed to do anything here. And what's interesting to me is that if you look at now, I'm gonna deflect from this situation a little bit because I don't believe it's fair to the young man. And all of this, most importantly.
I don't either.
And this happens, unfortunately, way too often. But instead, I'm gonna point out a couple different examples here. With these AAU teams, what generally happens is you'll have one top prospect, one or two per year, and what they do within the rules of the NCAA is they're going to hire one of those, either the head coach of that AAU team or maybe a parent or a friend of or confidant of that particular prospect to that program. In which case, it's well within their right and does not count against the rule, against the number of points that are given per year for head coaches or assistants, et cetera, or just per university to reach out to the player and have conversations with them. So they're well within their rights to do so. And it goes under the radar. No problem. You don't even hear about it. That's why I'm talking about it.
Exactly.
But yet here we are. Penny Hardaway does the right thing. Helps someone with some talent out. This is before he has the current position that he's in now.
That's what's odd.
And you know what? Yeah. And yet here we are. Here's where we find ourselves, and they find a problem with this. Do you know who keeps bringing this up?
Who's that?
John Calipari.
Oh, Johnny C all up in the mix, huh? Okay, Johnny C, I see you, son. Yeah, and I want to ask you, Brother Rich, and I'll ask Gully as well. Let's say Penny plays this guy in spite of the ineligibility that's been brought down by the NCAA. Death to the infidels. Would this be the move to finally sink the NCAA? Brother Rich?
I want to use your cousin. Your other cousin is not only a boxing aficionado, but I'll use a boxing analogy. The NCAA is like a fighter that's out on its feet that doesn't. Everyone else can see they're knocked out on their feet. There's a standing 8 count going on. And so this is absolutely the final blow. And this is what Penny is telling them. I don't care what y'all do. None of this matters anymore. You see, I was taught a long time ago that once you lose your moral authority, then you don't have any more authority. And the moral authority that the NCAA once pretended to uphold them as an institution, we cared about these children and the higher learning. Now all that's been manifested as hypocrisy. It's been exposed. We know about the monetary exchanges that go on between them and Nike and television rights. And so here you have another circumstance coming to a head where players saying, look, I really don't care about this system. And the coach is in agreement. Nothing is going to happen to me. I'm okay. And this player is going to be here, show his wares for a year, and then go to the NBA, and he's going to make a mint of money. And we don't really care what you do. And you can fine us. You can do whatever you want to do. But your overall ability to instill fear in us as an institution is gone now.
Gully, same question. If Penny Hardaway plays Mr. Wiseman, despite, quote unquote, him being ineligible or hit with the ineligibility, is that it for the NCAA? Is that the straw that broke the camel's back?
Not by a long shot. Yeah, not by a long shot. I think though this is going to be a landmark event nonetheless. Because what's the suspension for? Like, how do you unplay games that you've seen? Like, for example, for all of the forfeiting of titles based on admissions and money being handed over and all that. How do you unsee a game that you've already seen? How do you unplay a championship that has already been played? How do you you can wipe it from your history books, but I know what I see. I know what it is. I know what I see and I know what I experience, and those players know what they've done on the field. What it does, though, is emphatically just forces them to do an about-face on their rules. And forces the issue. Like, what are you really suspending me for? After all, in the end, a non-player for your university was helped by a non-coach of your university at the time. And then furthermore, let's add to the fact that we're talking about Wiseman accepting money. If I'm not mistaken, Wiseman was much more of a minor at that time than he was. It wasn't him that accepted any money. He was moving. So I don't know if Penny Hardaway physically handed this 11-year-old kid at the time or whatnot $11,000. I think he helped his family move and relocate to a better circumstance. Like, what really are you punishing me for? And I think he's going to force you to do an about face. Yeah. I think that's going to be the start of a very, very big wave of onslaught of morality. You know, a moral check for the NCAA. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I think Double J brought up the point. All good points as always from all of you all on all the stuff we discussed so far today. But I think Double J, winner chicken dinner, he brought up the point. Penny was not the coach of Memphis at the time, and this dude wasn't playing at the time. And yet, what if Penny would have never got the job? You see what I'm saying? This stinks to high. That's what I'm talking about. This everything we got going on in this world today, man, is bass awkward. You know the question I have though. What other schools was Wiseman? What other schools were interested in him?
Process?
I don't know. I don't know. That I don't. I'm not sure.
Talked about it.
What were they?
Kentucky,
Kansas.
Oh,
okay.
The top
okay, right. Yeah, you did say the California.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that's what it smells like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I say, man, it's all bass awkward now.
Remember what happened? I'm going to point something out here. Remember what happened the last time Memphis was relevant in basketball with Derrick Rose and the gang that went all the way to the national championship?
Yeah.
Did we forget? They were hit with sanctions. They were found guilty of things.
Absolutely.
Yes. Why? Because nobody could waive, despite Kansas waiving the wheat in that final. But what about the Kentuckys and the Dukes and the North Carolinas, the Michigan State?
Yeah, it's
a
just
a lot of revenue. Again, you ever followed the money?
Money, yeah. I mean, and that's just it, though. That's why I was telling the guy one day. He said, man, this country was built on this and this. And I said, man, ain't nothing that was built in this country, aside from the people I know who got it out the dirt. Wasn't nothing built on the up and up. A lot of blood been shed for folks to say I'm self-made. Yeah, okay. And how many people were laid to rest, unfortunately? If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, we're in the last portion of the program. That number to call is area code 267-687-0026. The number again is area code 267-687-0026. And the last subject of the day is none other than our NFL Week 11 notable team performances. I'll start with none other than them Baltimore Ravens. They rolled over the Texans, unfortunately, 41-7. Man, Deshaun Watson, man, that guy get a thumbs up for me, man. He was taking a beating all game long. But I want to ask this question of you, Gully. We'll start with you first. The same question, of course, for all three of y'all. And in regards to the Ravens, of course, what team right now in either conference is playing better than the Ravens in all three phases of the game? Gully?
That's a trick question.
No, it's not a trick. Ain't nobody tricking. Trick Daddy. Don't know who you calling Trick Daddy.
That's a trick question. You asking me what team is playing better than the best team in football right now? That's a trick.
It wasn't no trick. I said no. Did you hear? Did you hear what I said? I said in all three phases. Okay, I guess you kind of summed it up. But in all, but the question was particular. Yeah. In all three phases.
So
I get what you're doing.
The answer is zero. There is no team now. There are other teams that are close. I think the Seahawks are close right now. But I think right now the Baltimore Ravens have the momentum and they have the play style and have everything that they have everything they're built to be a Super Bowl contender and a Super Bowl winner. There's no team right now in football playing better than they are.
All right, Brother Rich. Right now.
Not even the Cowboys.
You know
Not
what?
even the Cowboys.
You know what? Double J, I start to come to you first anyways. See, that's me for this not going against my first thought, my first mind. Brother Rich, you're getting muted. Double J, what team other than the Ravens right now and other than Brother Rich's Buckeyes are playing better in all three phases?
The folks that reside in Jerry's world.
You know what? That's it. That's it. That's it. You know what? You know what? You know, yeah.
I think he meant Seinfeld. You taking it personal. I think he meant Seinfeld.
You know what? Man, you know what? I pray that your missus, when y'all get to y'all 70s, the missus hide y'all's teeth in the trash. Your dang on dentures. Okay, so we're going to skip right over that then. I'm telling you right now, provided that, now this is football, all right? Injuries are a part of the game, so provided everybody things stay intact with the Ravens, because the question been asked, earlier in the earlier part of the season, with the Patriots being the Patriots, not even the Patriots are playing the best in all three phases, right? But it was a given that the Patriots will be in the Super Bowl and all of that, as it is every year in the talk and as they are in most cases. But everything stay the same. Them Ravens coming to see y'all. And this ain't no disrespect to the Patriots. And by the way, I appreciate Tom, giving a thumbs up when most people not about Kaepernick, you know what I'm saying, whatever the thing was going on. He just put it out there right quick. Hey, man, I'm glad to see this going on. Good, so it can stay on everybody's minds. How about the Raiders?
Well, hang on a second. I do want to point this out.
Oh, now you want to point something out. Oh, do you really? Do you really? Do you? Go ahead, point it out. I dare you.
Well, you may be asking yourself, a lot of the emphasis and focus goes, in well-deserved, I don't want to take away from that, to Lamar Jackson and what he's been able to do. But however, since the acquisition of Marcus Peters, this defense is operating within the top three in the league.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And then Earl Thomas, man, that dude is special. He is special. He a quarterback back there, man. That guy just understands. I mean, but you look up how when he comes to his film study and whatnot. The guy's a stickler for details. I tell people all the time, man, especially these people that be watching TV and everything they say on TV, they take it as fact. You got to know how to watch television. You got to know how to watch it. You do. You got to know what to look for. It's a lot going on, believe me, more than what you see right in front of you. It's a lot more going on. And when you're doing film study, oh, yeah, that's what separates the good ones from the great ones. The Raiders are quietly making a big noise towards the AFC playoff picture. Brother Rich, what about them Raiders? If they get to the playoffs, you think they're going to make some noise when they get there?
Well, again.
No, don't start with the well again. Don't try to be finding something to say. No. Are they going to make the playoffs?
That is the quarterback of the team that you are representing. No, they're going to make it to the playoffs, but they're not going to go far.
That's so disrespectful. So disrespectful when you and Charles Woodson is best buddies. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that to y'all. Your brother Rich knows Charles Woodson. Double J. The Raiders make the playoffs, man. They going to make some noise when they get there?
Unfortunately, no. If they are fortunate enough to get there. Again,
what is it with you and Brother Rich, man?
Permitting.
What is it with you and Brother Rich? My buddy, wherever I go, he goes. Anyway, what'd you say? It really doesn't matter.
As much as you love Josh Jacobs, and for good reason, they don't have enough weapons offensively and defensively. They've played sound, but they lack playmakers. So what this does show is that John Gruden is more than capable. I wouldn't necessarily say he was worth the price tag because it was a little outrageous, but they're going to be fun. Buy your tickets if you're in the Vegas market.
Okay, so wait a minute. You don't think they're going to make no noise when they get there. So then let's flip the coin over. At the same time, the expression any given Sunday, that's not true?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
But again, you got to remember here. Look,
I see what you're basing it on, though. You're right. They don't have
any given Sunday, right?
Yeah, but they don't have
enough.
Yeah, I know. I'm just was joshing with you. Yeah, I get it. They don't have. If you look at everybody else's roster that potentially might make the playoffs, who's your Marcus Peters even, right? I got it. Yeah, but like I said, any given
See
Sunday.
that, Brother Rich? He takes one. First he takes the cowboy hat off and puts on his eye patch. You see that with the Raiders?
Oh no! Don't make me. Oh,
but
don't.
He puts on his eye patch, but he got a cowboy. He got a cowboy insignia on the inside of it, and a picture of Jerry Jones on the outside.
Okay, yeah. See, this is what I mean. This is getting so disrespectful right now. Yeah, we need to probably have some impeachment hearings next week on this program. Gully, you want to say something about the Raiders, huh? Yeah. Oh, and don't hold it. Don't make me pull. Hold up, Gully. Don't make me pull up the tape, bro. Rich.
No.
Double J.
I promise you. You're gonna like this. You say noise in the playoffs, right? Well, first of all, if based on just the observation of the standings, assuming the Raiders own one of the potential, let's say, wild cards right now, because they're tied at 6-4, but I think two other teams, the Bills being one of them. The Raiders won't meet the Ravens or the Patriots in the wild card round. I think it's possible that the Raiders would meet the Colts if everything played out, if everything remained the way it is now, and the Raiders did own the tiebreaker between them and the Texans. Do I think the Raiders could beat a Colts team in a wild card playoff and get to a divisional? Absolutely. I think that they're complete enough to surprise, to be a sleeper special for that team. Yeah. So I think they could make some noise in the playoffs, and I think that disrupts a lot of things going into a divisional playoff where the Raiders might upset a wild card team like the Colts, and then have to meet perhaps maybe a Raiders team or an aging Patriots team, and with John Gruden being back in the playoffs against a Patriots team that when he was last with the Raiders in the division, we all know how that goes. Anything could happen at that point.
I was hoping one of y'all picked up on the little cue I tried to throw at you, but no, Brother Rich and Double J, they so busy on Jerry A. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't had to say what they were supposed to say. I'm glad you picked up on that. See what I'm saying? Because they would have been calling me hater. Here you go with the tuck rule. I was so good. I mentioned Charles Woodson. Do you see what I'm saying? You see, y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Yeah. Potentially, that's what I was thinking of. Oh, the Raiders and the tuck rule and John Gruden. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of promos for that one, should it play itself out. Up next is the Saints, man. The Saints. And I know once upon a time when the Browns went 0-16, they used to be the Aints too. But anywho, the Saints, man, 34-17. They look like the Saints again in the win over the hapless Buccaneers. But there's been a lot of questions about Teddy Bridgewater better for this team than Drew Brees, Brother Rich?
Well, I don't know if anybody can be better than Drew Brees, but they don't lose, certainly. So that just gives them some weapons that perhaps we didn't anticipate they would have this early. Okay. But they're definitely for real.
Okay. All right. Double J, is Teddy Bridgewater a better quarterback for the Saints as they're currently constructed than Drew Brees?
Well,
oh boy, don't give me the well. Oh my gosh.
No, look. This is a head versus a heart thing. And
cry me a river.
Where I'm an alumni from.
Oh gosh.
And
I got the violins.
Dare I say, this is a tough year if you find yourself as a purist of the NFL.
You sound like Stephen A. Smith right now. You're capitulating.
Guys like Phillip Rivers.
You're capitulating.
On their way out. You have Tom Brady doesn't have the same arm. He's a screen passer at this stage of his career, which is, again, it's sad. Drew Brees, after that injury, he's never been the same. And You're absolutely right. I do believe at this, I'm gonna wait. The jury's still out from my side of things. I want to give him a few more weeks to see what can happen. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if he rushed himself back because of the success that Bridgewater had, or if he simply has lost it. Yeah. And again, once the game is behind you, you never really catch back up, unfortunately.
I got 2 words for you. Father Time. Gully, weigh in. Are the Saints a better team with Teddy Bridgewater than they are Drew Brees?
No. It's a resounding no, but it's not as if they are absolutely terrible. Attribute that to a guy like Teddy Bridgewater actually being a competent quarterback or a competent NFL player. Also attribute that to Sean Payton being a darn good coach and knowing how to use the talent that he has to be able to be successful. Give it to that team for wanting to avenge the ghosts of postseason past and really coming out with a vengeance to really make sure that they're successful. Give it to Drew Brees, who still, even at his advanced age, is still capable of being a great quarterback and being a clutch quarterback. They're not better with Teddy Bridgewater, but they don't lose. I think with a little less controversy, they're like the Philadelphia Eagles of 2 years ago, where they have a quarterback where they won't lose with either quarterback they have. Whether it be like in that Super Bowl run, Carson Wentz up until he got injured, and then Nick Foles taking over. Or let's go back a little further to 1990 with Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler, who took over. That was back when I was a Giants fan. So they're not better, but they're certainly well equipped.
Yeah, you, like Brother Rich and Double J, this panel, except for myself, is full of flip-floppers. Anywho, everybody used to be
flip-floppers.
Used to be a Giants fan. Last week, Brother Rich was an Eagles fan. Then before that, Brother Rich was a Chicago Blackhawks fan. It seemed like every city he visits, he's a fan of. That's front running, is what you call it, if you ask me.
Well, the good thing is you're consistently a Cowboys fan, and we appreciate that.
Exactly. There we go. Dak attack.
Hey, if you're gonna stand. If you're gonna sit.
When you record it.
If you're gonna stand. If you're gonna sit, but do not waver. Despite, and this is the last one on the docket for the day, despite their 35-27 win over the Staffordless Lions, Cowboys ain't going nowhere far. And yeah, Dak is not the answer long term. Double J, have your say. Speechless. Speechless, are you? Is that where we at? That's what we doing? That's what we doing now? That's what we doing? Well, I could mute you if that's what you want.
I know you left me speechless with that one.
Aha, yeah. Got you. Yeah, got you. Just make sure you got your bunny slippers on the right feet when you're drinking your hot cocoa this evening. That's all I'm telling you, because it's a little sunny, chilly out there in sunny side California. As in Stephen A. And I need you to capitulate. Okay, I'm going to need somebody to capitulate the situation over here for the overcompensatory aggressionists. Okay? That's what I'm going to need somebody to do. Boy, using big words and don't even know how to spell them. Anywho, Double J, what's the deal, man? Huh? No response? No response?
No. You heard me laughing.
Oh, wow. Wow, got you. Yeah, that's all I'm telling you. Yeah, Dak ain't the answer. I'm not going to even go to Brother Rich on this one. We don't have that kind of time left in the program. So, Gully, I will send it over to you right quick. At the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys, they don't make the playoffs, do they?
You're wrong. They do make the playoffs.
Stop it.
A lot of people, I know you have a peculiar relationship when it comes to stats. And actually, so do I, because stats shouldn't say everything. However, there are stats that show, despite the interceptions, I know it's 21-9 TD to interception ratio. It's a bit high compared to other elite quarterbacks. He still got 21 touchdown passes. Last week versus the Staffordless Lions, Ezekiel Elliott was limited to 45 yards rushing. That means they got it done in the air. because they became one dimensional because they shut down one of the elite backs in the league. And what happened with that? Dak Prescott, with his arm, with his QB, with his cha-cha drills that he does before a pregame, got it done. That continues to, I guess, when the spotlight is on him, when the scrutiny is on him, he continues to do enough to deflect the scrutiny. Maybe he doesn't do enough to get the eyes of scrutiny back on him. But the thing about it is he keeps shaving them off every time he gets it. You know what I mean? The kid's doing just enough not to get in trouble, but he keeps doing it. The Cowboys are in good shape to be a surprise team in the NFC, and they do make the playoffs this year behind Dak Prescott.
I'll say
That's
this
a good
too.
family discount for the Cowboys. Yeah, so y'all are Cowboys family.
No, stop it.
No, I'm a fan of objectivity.
Yeah. You talking about Dak getting it done through the air? I guess the Lions are without a lot of defensive players. Double J probably can speak to that more so than I can. The Lions were without a bunch of defensive players, and you said something about some cha-cha. I don't even know what that. What is he talking about? Double J. What's the cha-cha?
Yeah, you'll look it up. You'll see it's this pregame drill that he kind of does where he pivots his hips. He makes the floor motion and he pivots his hips from like it's almost like a what they call a slalom, where he pivots his hips to basically to get himself the muscle memory to know like how do I pivot and plant if I'm throwing left, or pivot and plant if I'm throwing right. It's a really weird thing to see him do, but it's obviously effective because he's getting it done in the air.
Yeah, he's gonna need to get in that Salvation Army bucket with Zeke. I tell you that, doing all of that. Yeah,
I don't. You hear that? Don't listen to that. You hear this, Brother Rich? Against the
this is all bait and switch. This is all bait.
No, it's not bait and switch, because I was just getting ready to add in the fact that my boy, the guy I've been championing for I don't know how many weeks on this program, I saw a picture of him the other day, and I'm hurt by this. I'm really hurt by this. I saw a picture of DeAndre Hopkins carrying a pink purse and wearing you know what? I can't even finish it. I just can't finish it. I'm what? Oh, not him too.
You see what this is? This is the X-Man Wolverine with the tears running down his face. Looking at the picture
You know what? You and Brother Rich can kiss my grits. Hey, anywho, Gully, you mentioned just something a minute ago about stats, and true that. And what I've been saying about stats, I'm not saying that they don't have a place, but stats, or AKA numbers, people say numbers are universal. They don't lie. Right, they are, yes. But they're also arbitrary as well. And the example I would use, or I've been using for however many years, is if I were telling you, if you, Brother Rich or Double J, if you come and say, hey, man, didn't catch the game, man, how's such and such player doing? Let's say we're talking about the NBA, because that's really where that whole thing came from. Man, how's such and such doing? Well, man, it's the third quarter, man. He 100% from the free throw line. Double J's or whoever it was that called me and asked me, their reaction would be one of delight, so to speak. Like, oh, okay, 100% okay. Until I turn around and tell you 5 minutes later. You would think that's a good thing when I say that number, that stat, right? Well, then I turn around and be like, yeah, man, but he only 3 for 3. Now you're going to be looking like, well, wait a minute. It's the third quarter and he only went to the free throw line 3 times? See what I'm saying? Big difference. So, yeah, stats don't equal substance. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Oh, and then one other thing right quick before we get out of here about the Browns. That offense is poorly conceived and horribly executed. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening.
That was a very low blow, by the way.
No, it wasn't. Hey, well, I get them all the time. Hey, we appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. Or you can check us out on Facebook. Actually, in particular, go to our Facebook fan page. Sign up to be a member of the Shop Report Facebook fan page club. You can check us out on Twitter, the Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and I just got a message earlier today via email from Spreaker. We are on a network now called DZ. That's D as in David, E as in egg, E as in egg, Z as in, and we're not about to go through this xylophone thing again. I don't know why I thought about that, Gully. Z as in zebra, Y as in yarn. We are on DZ now. Did I say Spotify? And, of course, as always, whatever method you choose to take a look at, please give us a follow or subscribe, and as well as our YouTube channel. And, of course, you can always send us an email, theshotreport365@gmail.com. And, when you send us an email, whatever way you choose to get in contact with us, let us know, what you'd like for us to talk about, and just, we're always looking to get better, at what we do. So we're not opposed to constructive criticism or critique around these parts. And if that don't work, Google it. For my mans Be Rich, Double J, and Gully, and all those who support us here at the Shop Report, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay. You're listening to the Shop Report. And also, I want y'all to remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla!